Hey, this is a talk about RAEN. I'm Chad O on Twitter and GitHub as ChadOH Chad O. Willem here and I parted ways with Near Inc., now Pagoda, at the end of last year and co-founded AHA Labs. We've now joined forces with the Pixel 8 team, and together we're all building RAEN. Find us online at raen.dev, that's RAEN.dev, or Twitter and GitHub at raendev, all one word. In this video, we're going to talk about two problems, a big problem and a small problem. The big problem is ecosystem-wide, blockchain ecosystem-wide, dApp, Web3, OpenWeb, DWeb ecosystem-wide, and that problem is this. No one knows how to build dApps. Okay, that's not strictly true. Some people have figured out some useful patterns, but good luck figuring out those patterns if you're new. Most people don't know, most documentation doesn't go that far, most tooling isn't that expansive. The small problem is with near smart contracts. They're black boxes. They don't play nicely with others. Only the author of a contract can really dig in and figure out how to interact with that contract. Everyone else needs to search for the source code or deconstruct web app workflows or give up. And now I assert that solving the small problem is key to fixing the big one. And if that's true, that's great because we already solved the small problem. The solution is RAEN. To understand RAEN, let's see how other people solved this problem. Ethereum solved it with an ABI system. ABIs are JSON files generated from a smart contract that contract authors distribute off-chain using GitHub or some other system. Pagoda, FKA Near Inc., are copying this system. WebAssembly, aka WASM, Near's runtime VM, are solving this same problem with WIT, WebAssembly Interface Types. More compact and readable than the JSON of ABIs, WIT fits easily into a custom section of a deployed smart contract, so that's exactly what RAEN does. This leapfrogs the ABI system. RAEN inspects your Rust smart contract, generates WIT from it, compiles the contract, injects the WIT, and compresses the whole thing, making the end result smaller than if you built without RAEN. Now, anyone can generate any tooling they need for any given smart contract just by knowing a contract's name. You can generate an ABI, or TypeScript, or cross-contract calls, or a CLI, or an admin panel web app. This one already exists. It's called RAEN Admin. You can RAEN build your contracts and enjoy it, teach with it, collaborate with it today. Let's try it. I'm going to follow along with the RAEN guide, the friendliest way to learn Near and Rust. If you prefer to go through it with a video, that's down here. It goes into more detail than what we're going to do right now. If you need help getting set up with Rust and WebAssembly and RAEN and Near CLI and configuring your editor, we've got you covered. It's going to have you clone an examples repository into a local folder called RAEN examples. And go ahead and build that before you get started so that your editor can actually find all the help info so that whenever you hover over things, you can see it. All right, let's see it. In VS Code, you can see that I'm in the contract. I've opened the contracts counter folder, not just RAEN examples. Someday RAEN examples will be a Rust workspace, but today you need to open this specific folder so that Rust Analyzer can find everything. Cargo toml shows you all of your dependencies. We've got Near SDK. And then over in source, lib is where the main smart contract lives. You can see that we're importing dependencies here at the top. We've got Borscht, that's a serialization library. We've got to store all of the contract state and the contract itself as Borscht. So we need to serialize it to store it on disk and then deserialize it. More about Borscht in that other video, more about Borscht in the guide itself. Let's focus in on just this part where we're implementing counter. It has a few methods: get num, increment, decrement. You can see that Rust Analyzer, whenever we hover over this, is showing us this public method returns the counter value. Cool. We're going to see more of that soon. So go ahead and open the terminal and RAEN build -- release. This is a shortcut, seeing it already finished, but this is a wrapper around cargo build -- release that also adds things like always build to WASM. stuff that you always need for a near smart contract. So then we can go ahead and near dev deploy that. No, I don't want to opt into tracking. And I forgot near dev deploy. You need to paste the output of that, or we can do it as a subcommand in ZSH or in bash. So we'll just rain build -- release -q so that it doesn't say anything except the location of the built file. Here it goes. Dev deploy is automatically going to create a new account for me. You can see it didn't have a near dev folder, and now I do. So I've got a new dev account that it created called dev-whatever-whatever. We can go back to raen.dev/admin, paste in that address, and there. We can get num, it's 0, decrement, increment, we must sign in, but you can also see public method returns the counter value, and in decrement, they don't take any arguments, so we don't see anything up here, but we can attach some near if we want to. We can change the default gas. By default, it's 30 teragas. The formatting of these will be improved soon. Let's go ahead and sign in so we can increment the number. And great. All right, so now I can call increment. Just hit submit. You can see it loading down here at the bottom. Result. Return value 1 logs increased number to 1. Again, if we go back to the code, hide the terminal, we can see that we log something. Increase number to self.val. Public method, increment the counter. So all of that is here. Cool. If we go and if we get num, you'll see it's 1 now. There's no button here because there are no inputs. You don't need to change any arguments. We can decrement it back. It's loading. Result, 0. Get num, 0. Beautiful. Let's add a new method. Let's add one called, oh, I'm not in Vim mode. Let's add a new one called setNum. And this one is going to take an argument, so you'll see what that looks like. And we'll call it new val is an I8, an 8-bit integer. Public method set the counter. Let's get rid of public method just so we can see that that's not somehow generated for us. It's just generated from our comment. Self.val equals new val. Set number to self.val, return self.val. This is the same, if you're not familiar with Rust, as return self.val, but the implicit return without the semicolon at the end is the Rust way. It's more idiomatic. You'll never see people write it the other way. You'll never see Rust developers write it the other way. Save that, open the terminal. This is already going to rebuild and dev deploy in one command, so we can just run it. And since we already have the near dev folder now, it's using the same address, 166.974. We can go back, 166.974. We can refresh the page and we see set num now. We can set this to 128. And we can hit submit. No, we can't set it to 128 because it's an 8-bit integer and it can only go up to 127. Well, let's set it to 127 then. We'll go ahead and hit submit. Result, 127. And now we can increment. Submit. What happens if we increment from the maximum 8-bit integer? Ooh, negative 128. What's going on there? Dig into the guide to figure out how to fix that problem and what's happening there. It's an integer overflow. There are easy ways to solve that with Rust. That's it for this video, for this talk. We're going to go back to the slides now and keep talking about RAEN and the future of RAEN. If you want to dig in more to that guide, raen.dev/guide, there's a video that also goes into more detail. So to recap, A RAEN maximized version of Near becomes a fully typed smart contract ecosystem, a development platform where all developers can learn about and script against and build on top of any already deployed program with confidence. Today, all we have is RAEN admin, but other tools are in the works that will take advantage of these type interfaces, these interface types, these schemas that are published right on chain to make it really easy to interact with any smart contract that was built with Near, built with RAEN. This circles us back to the big problem. No one knows how to build dApps. And what this really means is that we're all still figuring it out together. New patterns are emerging, new visions gaining salience. One vision for the open web is thin apps that access open data. Apps that read, write, interact with data from many sources, including many smart contracts. Some the app developers wrote themselves, some that pre-existed, public infrastructure. And if that's your vision, what a boon is a fully typed ecosystem of public infrastructure. We're going long on this vision. RAEN, born a build tool, will grow into a framework, helping ambitious developers compose secure, well-architected smart contracts, yes. And more than that, because apps need more than just smart contracts. They need front ends, indexing layers, off-chain storage. RAEN will pull these all together, as well as yet undiscovered architectural patterns, and help devs keep apps fresh with all these latest discoveries as they emerge. Here's what this will look like in practice. Let's follow three builders, Ali, Bob, and Cal. Ali just switched to Near from some other blockchain and wants to build new DeFi offerings. She opens her command line, types RAEN generate contract AMM, gets a new automated market maker contract, types RAEN generate contract FT, gets a new fungible token contract, and starts hooking them together. Feels immediately productive and useful in her new ecosystem with her new programming language. Bob is a business founder front-end dev with a product remixing data from 3 existing smart contracts. In his command line, he types RAEN new project -- use, followed by the names of those 3 smart contracts. Gets a project configured with a fully typed front end that even gives him some reasonable starting UI, and some subgraph code to index those 3 contracts, and tests to show how it's done. He's already busy building business logic, doesn't need to bother with boilerplate or any reverse engineering. Cal is making the switch from Web 2 to Web 3, participating in their first hackathon. They type RAEN new project, get a tutorial app. Contracts, front-end, subgraph, storage, all hooked together. They learn the ropes and build an app, are proud of what they build, continue hacking with their team after the award ceremony, grow the codebase easily from proof of concept to full-scale public infrastructure. That's where we're headed. That's how easy we want Near to be. We'll get there in about 6 months. How can you get involved? First of all, start building your contracts with RAEN. You saw how easy it is. The more contracts out there using RAEN, the more powerful all our tooling will be as it rolls out. Next, give us a follow. My DMs are open if you have questions. Contribute where you can. Star, fork, follow. github.com/raendev. Fund us. If you are connected to funding streams somehow, we are looking for new areas to explore, new research endeavors. We will also set up a DAO that you can donate to if you want to. Find that in the description under the video. And chat with us. We are setting up a Discord server right now. That's also in the info below the video. So thank you for listening. Find us online. Go use RAEN. I can't wait to see what you build.